Hey, anyone know what time it is? Wake up, raid your salt-smelling stash because it's time to go around the hockey world and check out everything worth another look. From having to run through the snow to get to your game.
Running through the snowy stuff with a suit and dress shoes on.
Incredible saves, massive hits, some phenomenal goals.
Oh my goodness, that might be the prettiest goal I've ever seen.
People are speechless in this building right now.
Jumbo Joe's banner night.
Maybe that's why I never wore a shirt during my interviews.
As of course, we got some great sound bites this week.
Possibly on a dating app for mascots.
The man on the right there, apparently new to eating popcorn.
Backcheck, forecheck, and paycheck.
There's plenty to cover, so let's start with some updates from last week where we saw Jalen Chatfield's pregame routine go wrong. Well, he gave us an update as to why he's maybe taking it a little easier now.
I was so embarrassed after. I was trying to tell the boys in the locker room that you got to see this video after the game because it was fucked. And
the smile of a hockey player. Now, you may also remember seeing Zuccarello take that shot in the nether regions. Well, we got a nasty update from Foligno.
The jock had a massive dent in it. It was hilarious. We thought he was going to lose one nut, but he actually it survived. He's got them both still, so that's good.
Brutal. Although, One Nut Zuck, kind of a sick nickname. Lastly, after the Sharks pulled their goalie against the Rangers, Igor Shesterkin going for the goalie goal, and while I think it would have went in, he was denied by Macklin Celebrini. So Igor, when asked about it, figured he should be in school. Now, as for this week, we'll start with an odd penalty in Seattle.
Nashville has a minor penalty for starting the incorrect lineup.
Where it was Jessica Campbell who noticed something adrift as the Predators just continue to get in their own way.
Number 91 was supposed to start instead of number 9.
And after that incredible start Ovi had this year, by the way, listen to this perfectly timed Mario sound.
Dubois looking for the captain. Ovechkin fires. He scores!
Right? Like, come on. Strome even trying to get more of that. But anyway, his run was temporarily derailed this week after Ovi suffered an injury. And while this had the hockey world devastated...
No! Why?
Ovi was out here happy as could be, taking in some basketball. But speaking of the greatest goal scorer of all time, let's get into the goals this week, because we had some pretty ones. Here it was Evan Bouchard carving up the Sens for a tasty one, making up for his lapses last week. Then in Dallas, it was Matt Duchene with some nasty work. He fights off Minchikov while showing us silky mitts as he finishes off a beauty. Over in Toronto, it was Mitch Marner banking one in from behind the goal line as he takes advantage. And then in Columbus, it's Mitchell Chaffee scoring one that went off his body before batting it out of mid-air for a nice one. Of course, we had McDavid in Edmonton with more patience than your local ER. Sorry, that's so dumb. But really, what a goal here. But check out how dirty the cameraman did this poor fella. Also against the Rangers, it was Quinn Hughes with a backhand my grandmother would be proud of. For a little college action, we had Ryan Leanord with a ridiculous overtime winner as he scores from behind his back to win it.
People are speechless in this building right now.
In the AHL, it was Cameron Hughes with an insane overtime winner as he went between the legs, top cheese for the dub.
Oh my goodness, that might be the prettiest goal I've ever seen.
Now, we also had some great setups this week. Cooley here going between the legs of Ned before Gunther would score, but in Dallas, this was nasty work. Look at the sauce on this baby, and then the move by Johnston to finish. Pretty stuff. And I'll end it with another apple. This one from Sasson, who recorded his first career point, but it was his dad's reaction that was absolutely fantastic.
Lake guy, oh my goodness, no way. That is awesome.
And truly, I love this interview all around.
I think I always
get to it. Yeah. Thanks, Matt.
Perfect. Thank you.
And with that, how about we check out some sound bites from the week?
Max Talbot, the man on the right there, apparently new to eating popcorn. He will be...
Nikita Grebenkin may not speak great English, but he does speak hockey.
Backcheck, forecheck, and paycheck.
Then we had whatever this was.
Hey, there's a Jets fan, possibly on a dating app for mascots. Not sure what's going on. 3-0 Jets.
Over in Tampa, they had a sax for the anthem, which I thought was pretty neat. Then, ahead of what was that crazy Pittsburgh-Cleveland NFL game, Ohio native Alex Nedeljkovic was pranked.
I'm in everybody's head, just right where I want to be, living rent-free.
So with that, let's get to the goalies. In Vancouver, after Sheloffs lost his blocker and Myers so helpfully pushed it further, it was no blocker, no problem, as he stuck with it to make a nice stop. We had Mrazek, who had himself a great one in Philly, gets across with the stick to keep it a tied game. Heading to San Jose, it was James Reimer with a ridiculous save. Reverse glove, it's highway robbery on Celebrini, who couldn't believe it. But it wasn't all fun and games for the goalies this week, as Fleury in Edmonton let in one of the craziest goals I have ever seen. Just 15 seconds into the game, Draisaitl's pass goes off a skate, goes along the boards, hops over Middleton's stick, and as it comes on net, takes a terrible bounce to go 5-hole on Fleury. Unbelievably unlucky. And then, while DeBrusk and Omar caught up pregame, all smiles, I'm not sure that was the case after DeBrusk would come and score on his former teammate. Askarov making his NHL debut learned why you stay in your net, as the rookie got a rude introduction to the NHL. And so with the Ranger goalie duo giving guys the business this week, Igor here holding on to Garland for dear life, let's get into the physical side of the game. Over in Sunrise, after Boqvist lost his bucket, attempted to put it on but says to hell with it, he would proceed to run a puckless Miles Wood. But we did get some massive legal hits too. Radko Gudas and Anaheim running right through Zucker, and then in that same game, it was Harkins running through Cousins as the Ducks brought it to Buffalo. And so did Jack-Eye in Montreal, laying a punishing hit on Hyman. Over in Ottawa, it was Stutzla being dropped by Pettersson, but the big one this week came in what was a very physical game between the Leafs and Golden Knights, when Whitecloud laid a devastating hit on Nyes. A huge hit, not called a penalty by the way, as the Leafs were out there even getting hit from friendly fire this week, as Marner and Lorenz had to have a laugh at it. But check this out, in the AHL, we had an MMA style fight as Griffin's Legason actually made Raska tap. I cannot say I have seen this before. But with that, it reminds me of last week when Nurse took a nasty hit from Reeves that caused him to miss a few games. While this week, he scored himself a shorty in his first game back. And look at this seller.
You pointed to your head. Was there a message in that?
I was just pointing at my head. I don't know.
But from there, let's take a look at some quick ones. We had Jaden Schwarts borrow a towel, and then throwing it back, he caught Coach Bylsma with it. Kirill at Minnesota's practice casually alley-ooped himself for a beauty. Wow. On the other end, there's Philip Forsberg with a reverse grip backhander.
With a stick pointing the wrong way. Tried to hit it back.
His thoughts? I guess I'm kind of messed up in the head, maybe. This week, we also had Travis Boyd making his Minnesota Wild debut, but he got caught in a snowstorm in Calgary and actually had to walk to the arena.
I had my bag on my shoulder, and Dom was carrying my sticks for me. But, you know, running through the snowy stuff with a suit and dress shoes on with a bag on my back. And I think there might be a funny picture coming from somebody here who was in line. It's funny looking back on it now.
Similarly, in Toronto, the Kraken hit some traffic, and they had to walk.
Walking pregame to get to the rink because there's way too much traffic. Meeting is in 1 minute to get there. So I think that's a first for everyone. Never saw that before.
This week, we found the Canadian Rizzler over in Edmonton, and here's Celebrini just whispering sweet nothings into the ear of Smith. To round out the week, we also saw a few milestones I thought I'd share. Jumbo Amish Joe got his 19 raised in San Jose with some great moments.
It was my mission to return all that love every time I stepped on the ice. And maybe that's why I never wore a shirt during my interviews. Yeah, I got the body.
As this was a great ceremony, with my favorite story being of a homeless mom and kids that Joe helped move into an apartment.
But you can't tell anybody about this. Now it's been such a long time ago, so now I'm gonna break the trust and tell everybody about this, but there it was, moving into homeless mom, 2 kids. Nobody ever knew.
Very cool stuff. And lastly, this week, we also saw Crosby net his 600th career goal, just the 7th player to ever record 600 with the same franchise, as the entire team came out to celebrate. With that, though, I think I'm going to leave it there. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you in the next one.